The English name Manly, and Manly Cove, was given by Governor Arthur Phillip, who'd sailed up from Botany Bay on the 21st of January 1788. And as he landed at Manly Cove, young men came down. They put down their spears and they approached the boat. And Phillip was immediately attracted by their manly behaviour. They were tall, they were strong, and they were fearless. So therefore the name Manly is stuck to this place.
The name certainly stuck and has been played on by promoters over the years.
Today, these manly lifesavers do justice to that name. And this is an attractive commodity which is hardly manly, yet typical of it.
Manly always had a slightly wild reputation. It was a place where you left the city behind. The slogan of the ferry company that carried people across captured the vibe: 7 miles from Sydney and 1,000 miles from Care. If Manly was 1,000 miles from Care, the little beach to the north was that much further. If you wanted to escape the hubbub of Manly, you could make your way over the hill to a freshwater stream-fed bay with beautiful waves. Cradled by closely flung headlands, this natural amphitheatre, with its gentle protected surf, attracted a bohemian crowd. After Duke Kahanamoku's legendary surfing exhibition at Freshwater, surfing in Australia really took off. Crowds continued to flock from the city and pour onto the Cross Harbour Ferry, bound for a day at the beach in Manly. By the 1950s, surfing was considered Sydney's favourite summer pastime.
Surfboard riding may have originated in Hawaii, but now it's as much a part of Australian sport as cricket and football.
Whilst this much is true, this dramatically narrated footage from the 1950s also presents inaccuracies.
The first surfboard brought to Australia was this solid one used by Hawaiian Duke Kahanamoku in 1915. Then evolution led to the long hollow board at the right, a lighter and more buoyant affair. And finally came the surf ski.
Historical accuracy aside, the dramatic narration enhances the excitement of this classic surf footage at Manly.
And away he goes on a rushing, roaring roller coaster. There's poetry in the slow motion view of sunlit spray, with man standing triumphant as conqueror of the waves, moving with majestic momentum towards his own terrain.
There certainly is poetry in surfing, and in Duke Kahanamoku's legacy in particular. From far across the world's largest ocean, Duke's gift of aloha is cherished down under. From Waikiki to Freshwater, we share not only an ocean, but the legacy of a great Hawaiian man and a passion for wave riding. The ocean covers a majority of the world's surface. From space, our home is a watery orb, aptly referred to as the blue planet. The largest ocean is the Pacific, a name derived from the Portuguese description Mar Pacifico, meaning peaceful sea. This peaceful sea is teeming with life and unites the shores it washes upon.
That's the connection. That blue water that you see there is the connection of people. A lot of people look at that as separation, but it isn't.
There are many lands and diverse cultures connected by the Pacific Ocean. This is the story of two communities that share a special bond. Waikiki in Hawaii and freshwater in Australia. Both celebrate the great Hawaiian Duke Kahanamoku, who demonstrated surfing at Freshwater Beach over 100 years ago. This is the story of an Australian community's love for Hawaii. It is a tale of two lands, one sea, and one man's legacy. Isabel Latham was born in 1899, the only child of two Scottish immigrants. Her mother Jane was a close friend and supporter of Millicent Preston Stanley, who became the first female member of the New South Wales Parliament in 1925. As a child, Isabel attended dancing classes and was a student at Apsley School for Girls in Stanmore. An active youth who loved the outdoors, Isabel discovered that she was water-oriented when her family moved to freshwater on the northern beaches. It was here on the northern beaches that Isabel was introduced to surfing by the famous Hawaiian Duke Kahanamoku just over 100 years ago. This was before women could stand for Parliament in her state, and only several years after the ban on public bathing was lifted at Manly Beach. Isabel continued to surf after being introduced to it by Duke. Her father disapproved at first, but ended up making her a beautiful redwood board to Duke's dimensions. In addition to wave riding on the beaches, she also aquaplaned around Sydney Harbour, acquiring a daredevil reputation. She set sail for America in 1918 and led an adventurous life in the States. She dabbled in showbiz in LA, pursuing her dream of becoming a stuntswoman in Hollywood. American press described her as a young Diana of the waves. Whilst living in San Francisco, she discovered her passion for teaching swimming. Returning to Australia, she devoted much time to instructing water ballet for young girls in her hometown. Having travelled to Hawaii, Isabel incorporated her love of the culture by making hula outfits for her water ballet pupils at freshwater pools.
One of the little treasures in the collection, and may not seem important to some people, is a small scrap of paper with her pencil marks of the moves that she wanted those little girls, once they'd taken off their hula skirts and dived into the water, to make. So there's this little slip of paper with all the movements for the synchronised swimming.
In addition to teaching water ballet, Isabel also taught many generations of local children how to swim.
Having taught me to swim, the next thing Miss Latham did with her students was she taught them to surf. People speak of her on waves where she would somersault down the face, do all sorts of swan dives, and she was just an amazing surfer, body surfer.
She was a groundbreaker. Having had three daughters, I can appreciate that.
Anyone that's ever surfed in Australia, any female that's ever should have at least a small appreciation of what Isabel Latham did for surfing over here.
Isabel never forgot being introduced to surfing by Duke and fondly recalled the experience late into her life.
Late in 1914, Duke Kahana came out as the guest of the New South Wales Amateur Swimming Association. He gave this magnificent exhibition. Of course, all eyes were glued on this man. And when he stood on his head, we couldn't believe the evidence of our eyesight. So he was in the water for about an hour. When he came out, I was standing alone in the middle of the beach. McIntyre came up to me and he said, "The Duke wants a girl to go out with him." And he said, "You're it." He showed me how to paddle. And I got on the front of the board with him. He picked the wave, and when it was time to go, he just told me to start paddling. We went in, and when it was just ready to break, and I looked over the crest and I saw, down, I thought I was going to disappear altogether. I was scared out of my wits. And he got me by the scruff of the neck and pulled me up, because he was a very big, strong man, and I was right after that.
Take my hand and I'll follow you across the light into the blue. Oh, hypnotized, lazy ocean charms, and we can live forever. Like the breeze through the pond. Just let those memories drift by you, 'cause that is all you can do. Oh, lift your head up to the rain and the storm and smile, 'cause you are going home. And
Isabel died in 1995, and her ashes were scattered beyond the breakers at Freshwater.
And this is my daughter Isabel, who is named after Isabel Latham, who is part of this whole story. We're here to celebrate at Freshwater Beach in 2015.
I think it's cool that he got a girl to surf, because I don't think that was very popular back then. And I was very honoured to play Isabel Latham.
The honour and the opportunity was for her on the 100-year anniversary. Yeah, it was unbelievable, really.
To do the Duke reenactment was just an honour and a pleasure.
Very proud, very proud. He did well.
I love surfing because I feel free in the water.
Duke's aloha and surfing is in correlation with sharing the ocean with each other and making sure that we realize why we're out there to surf. And it's to make friends, and it's to enjoy the ocean, and it's to have this relationship with the ocean. Everything else, leave it on the land.
Surfing is a national sport in this country, embraced and enjoyed by coastal dwellers from all over the place. Over the years, Australia has produced many world champions and continues to churn out surfing professionals, many of whom are up here on the Gold Coast for the current Quicksilver and Roxy Pro. Now, with constant news updates bringing us the latest results, such as Stephanie Gilmore's victory over the Hawaiian Melanie Bartels, not to mention the many magazines, movies and musicians that have been continually influenced by surfing, it's definitely had adequate media attention. However, there's one surfing story that has not been told properly in the media, and that's of surfing's origins in Australia. And one lady in particular, Isabel Latham, whose own personal story is intrinsically connected to the history of surfing in this nation. But does anyone know who she really is? Do you guys know who Isabel Latham is?
Isabel Latham?
Yes.
No. Isabel Latham. Is she any relation to the celebrity?
Do you know who Isabel Latham is?
Yes, I do.
Who Isabel Latham is?
Isabel Latham? No, I don't. I'm sorry, I can't help you there.
Excuse me. Oh, wait. Don't want to talk.
Sorry? Sorry?
Do you know who Isabel Latham is?
I don't know.
Sorry, I can't speak English.
Okay. Have you heard of Isabel Latham?
No, we are not from here.
Who Isabel Latham is?
No, I don't. I have no clue. No idea.
Pretty dismal, hey? Looks like not too many people know the story of Isabel Latham. And Isabel Latham was an amazing woman. Now, here's the story. She was actually the first publicly acknowledged Australian to stand up on a surfboard and ride it into shore. The year was 1915, and the Hawaiian Duke Kahanamoku, famous as being a world champion Olympian in the field of swimming, came to Australia to give everyone a surfing demonstration, which, as we know, is a long-standing Hawaiian tradition. Now, this was at Sydney's freshwater beach on the northern beaches, and a whole crowd had amassed, and they were watching and they were completely blown away with this amazing demonstration. He came to shore and invited one person to come out and have a go. And who was the one person that was enthusiastic enough to get out there? 15-year-old Isabel Latham. She's been revered by some in the surfing community as the mother of surfing in Australia. But it seems that only the pros really know who she is. So let's go and have a talk to what some of the professional girls have to say about this amazing lady. So you've heard of Isabel Latham?
Yes, I have, yeah. You know that she was one of the first women surfers riding, heard she was a real, so... yeah, I did hear about her. First person in Australia, yeah? With Duke Kamana.
Yep.
I can't pronounce her name properly, but...
Have you heard of Isabel Latham?
Yeah, I met her at a contest once when I was really young. Like maybe about 12, and she gave me an encouragement award, and I was like, yes! I got like some gift certificate thing, so I thought she was the coolest ever. So she was cool because, you know, she seemed like a real strong woman, and I come from a family of like really like opinionated women, and she was like, yeah, I was the first surfer in Australia, and I was like, yeah, that's awesome. Like, she's taking over, so I thought she was super cool. If the Duke's got a statue this big, her statue should be like this big. You know, she was an Aussie, and you know, she's a chick, so I reckon that's awesome.
So, we've heard what the pros have to say. So clearly Isabel's legacy has survived to this day. However, as we've seen, the common person really doesn't know who she is or what her contribution to surfing in Australia was. Now, she was a very important lady, so it's clearly a story that hasn't been told properly in the media. And it's one of importance too. I mean, 1915, she became the first woman, first Australian, to stand up on a surfboard and ride it into shore. To give you a bit of context, this was 3 years before women were allowed to stand up in Parliament in New South Wales. So she definitely is a very important figure in Australian history, and her story is one that definitely should be told. I'll sign out now with the typical Hawaiian farewell. Mahalo aloha.
Sarah Piggott from Baby Pig Productions, meeting Karma the Pig.
So yeah, this is Kama the Surfing Pig. He's named after Kamapua'a, the Hawaiian demigod. He was a shapeshifter, he was a son of a god. His human form was the most handsome man in all the land. Some say it might have been Maui, Hawaiian Superman. And his animal form was the wild boar. He was in love with Pele, the volcano goddess, the fire goddess. His plant form was a kuina tree, or the tree of life. And then his fish form was the Lumumunukunukuakua, the pig fish. Yeah, so he's quite the legend in Hawaiian mythology. He's got a very powerful name to live up to. I think he does a pretty good job at it.
Yeah, man. Kama the Surfing Pig.
Oh, he just followed me out one day and jumped on the board, started surfing.
Life is a dream and as real as it seems. We be floating on cloud nine. In reality, we be infinite divine, spiritually inclined. I open up my mind, third eye, see what the blind side. Everlasting light we shine up in it brightly. Bring light to the darkness, always day and night. Leave rock, gonna launch this. Take off, let our conscious guide the way. The path of the righteousness, the matrix, fakeness. Babylon can take this false reality and shove it. I'ma make this my dream. It's my dream. I fly high in my dream. I pull inside to what I like in my dream. Why? Dream master, put it on blaster. Going to the sea, do going faster, faster, blaster, blaster, all night longer laster. She be saying, oh my God, to me like I'm a pastor. Yeah, we living it, thanks to praise and giving it. Take me told it, I'm folding, just got to ribbon it. We rocking it, we popping it. Temple trim, we dropping it, we hopping it, hip hopping it. We rising top and topping it. Life is a dream and as real as it seems. We be floating on cloud nine. In reality, we be infinite divine, spiritually inclined. I open up my mind, third eye. I'm a party with 4 hero, 4 go pro. I pull into the barrel, selfie stick slow.
Surf, eat, sleep, repeat, and the bleep bleep.
I pump it down the line as fast as it go. I'm a wave storm rider, pull it inside. I surf it all day, bust it all night. I fight, dream making money, $1,000 bills, yo. Life is a dream and as real as it seems. We be floating on cloud nine. In reality, we be infinite divine, spiritually inclined. I open up my mind, third eye. Blah blah black and sheep, heavy when it woo. Yes I 10 pounds woo. At the beach man, rocking with my chic man, waiting for the tide to rolling deep man. High class grazing, tall grass raising, Hawaiian hydro, sandy beach bombs blazing. Here we go now, ready to rock a show now. Everybody board the canoe, get ready, roll now, flow now. Everybody go down, coming up super fast, so you're gonna slow down. Speed up, we ready for the re-up. Everybody got a drink and eat up.
Addis Ababa, this is the remix. I'm a city, you know the remix. Addis Ababa, this is the remix. Let's go. I'm a city, you know the remix. Yeah, Smirky #1. I'm a city, R&B incredible. The amazing King Watson. Let's go. I'm a Maya with Shante, inspired the message. I better get ready, cause I am aggressive. I've never been passive, my mission is massive and classic. I'm a senior, dropping the knowledge on top of the populace. Nobody stopping us, gotta be watching this. Y'all know what time it is, I got my confidence rhyming it. I'm a senior, it tips to you to get better, but it tips to you to get better, but it tips to you to get better, but I'm a senior, I'm a anchor. It tips to you to get better, but it tips to you to get better, but it tips to you to get better, but I'm a senior, I'm a Africa.
Addis Ababa to Hara. Like
Ethiopia. Addis Ababa, this is the remix. I'm a senior. Addis Ababa, this is the remix. I'm a senior. The mystical churches of King Ali Bella, the musical verses they sing a cappella. Listen with purpose, the things I be telling you, relics of Abyssinia. The Simeon Mountains, we Ark of the Covenant. Silly men doubting it, y'all know we running it. Hacks to McDonald's, put battles and companies, sum it up. Abyssinia, we magical wonders, we castles and thunders, we passionate brothers, we fashion your colors. So single and capital, clapping like thunder, we coming up. Abyssinia, it tips to you to get better, but it tips to you to get better, but it tips to you to get better, but I'm a senior, I'm a Africa. It tips Abyssinia, Mama Africa. Addis Ababa, this is the remix. Abyssinia, Addis Ababa, this is the remix. Abyssinia, Gorobete, 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 Gorobete. Alamayo with Shante inspired the music. Sister Tabeba inspired the movement, improving the living condition of women and children in Abyssinia. We all grew from Africa, Hutu to Habesha. How could you laugh at us calling us savages? Y'all don't know half of this. Break out your abacus, add us up. Abyssinia. We cultivate coffee, we torture the culture from Adam to Abba. We fought off the vultures who always insult us. Then now we ain't holding focus. Abyssinia. This time when I say it's good to y'all to develop us, I need the whole stadium. Make a hear us back home. It did take you to get better, but it did take you to get better, but it did take you to get better, but Abyssinia, Mama Africa. It did take you to get better, but it did take you to get better, but it did take you to get better, but Abyssinia, Mama Africa. I want you all to know, when we talk about remix, we're remixing our mentality. It's not just Addis Ababa basic, it's Abyssinia basic. It's Africa basic. One Ethiopia, no more division. One Ethiopia. One Africa. One love. One love. One love. My name is Mike E. He is my name, Kenny Russell, and this is Afro Club.
"'Tis a truth universally acknowledged, that a single man in possession of a good fortune must be in want of a wife." Now, some of you might have recognised this quote as the opening line from Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice, one of the most celebrated opening lines in all of English literature. However, it seems that leading publishers in the UK today are unable to make such a recognition. David Lassman has conducted a very cheeky investigation.
What I did was I sent out the first 3 chapters, the opening chapters of Jane Austen novels, which were Pride and Prejudice, Northanger Abbey and Persuasion, and I typed them up, used a different title for each of the books, just changed the main characters and sent them in under a pseudonym to many of the publishers in today's publishing industry, and all but one rejected it. Some of the letters that I'd originally received for my own novel was exactly the same as the ones I received for the Jane Austen novels, so that's what they call a standard letter. So it really is a case, that sometimes they don't even read it. And in the case of Penguin, which I think was the publisher that people really picked up, or the newspapers, the media picked up on, because they'd said it was a interesting but original read. But they didn't think that they could place it with the public, and they just published it the year before as a kind of reissue.
Which Darcy did you prefer? The Darcy in BBC one or Bridget Jones?
I've got my own Darcy, and I'm a bit old for choosing a young one, so I think I'll stick to mine.
I like the BBC better.
I don't think I've
ever thought about it.
No.
None of them actually, because they all have perfect white teeth. They're all groomed especially, and it wasn't like that in Miss Austen's day.
After her death, Henry of course saw to the funeral arrangements inside Winchester Cathedral. Henry also saw to the publication of her 2 as yet unpublished works, Northanger Abbey and Persuasion. They were published together. Henry decided he was going to write a foreword for that book. He called it A Biographical Notice of the Author, and it's here, in a very moving tribute written from a brother to a sister, that Henry finally reveals to the world that it was, in fact, his sister, Jane Austen, who'd written all those other very well-received novels, and that is the first time that you see the name Jane Austen in print.
Well, I hope you've all enjoyed that as much as I have. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to David Lassman and learning all about his cheeky investigation. I'm Gemma Piggott, here in Bath for Brooks TV.